Lay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, the leader of the majority party, to give a notice of motion. Chairperson, Committee on Agenda to give a notice of motion. Chairperson, Committee on Water to give a notice of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I wanted to seek your indulgence
Proceed.
that the report that has been tabled by the Committee on Gender on the sports policy, so that you can allow that the report is shared to members early in advance, so that we see what has exactly been captured by the committee before we come for debate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is that to mean that the report will not be shared, or the motion is scheduled for today?
Not really, Honorable Speaker. Even if it is not coming today, so that members peruse and see what has been captured. It elicited a lot of debate when members were going through the matter. So we want it shared so that members can go through the document before it comes for the final debate in the House, Honorable Speaker.
Clerk, you are directed to do so. Ensure that is done by today. Chairperson of Committee on Water to give a notice of motion. If I may ask, Honorable Mbateso, is this Kastuma the same project we are discussing on solar and electricity?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, it's the one.
So how will this report address issues that we said will be addressed within the next 7 days?
Mr. Speaker, the report may not help because the urgent of the matter may not allow the report to assist my people, because it was actually a statement, and I think it has been changed to a report.
So how will then the report address and resolve the issue in your request for a statement in which few days or yesterday that the issue of electricity had not been resolved?
I don't think the report is necessary and may not help us at now, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson.
Mr. Speaker, sir, according to the committee, we would think that it will help because most of the questions which were raised by the honorable member are captured and in details on what he enhanced by yesterday, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So the question is, if the member as of yesterday was not agreeing with the issue of electricity in Kaduma Buahon, how will then the member be comfortable with the same issue in a report?
Mr. Speaker, sir, most of the questions he had raised are captured and we have attached the evidence of what he had said. He requested to have the evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Have you accessed that information, Honorable Mbateso?
So, Speaker, I have not gotten any information, and it was actually a ruling that it should be a response. It should be actually responded by as a response for statement, as I had requested. But I was waiting to get maybe the statement, the response, which I'm surprised it's a report now.
Member Fulham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. We are in a house of rules and procedures. And when a statement is raised, it's until the dust is settled. The first report is in response of a statement which was actually later on converted. And this statement had come to this particular house and handled by the committee to the level of being converted to a report. But before even we finalized this one, the member went ahead and raised another statement, which already we are going to request for another period so that we can be able to handle the matter. Now, when a statement comes on top of an issue, we cannot be able to stop it, Mr. Speaker, sir, because we have to undertake the whole details. That's why we said, let us bring the report, because some of the issues he has raised out of the impatience of seeing like the work is not being done, it will be addressed here. As for the issue of the Kenya Power, we have followed as a committee to the level of engaging the KPLC and the gotten communication that KPLC is being engaged on day-to-day basis by the CEO. That is reflected in the report. But now when you look at the other statement which already you gave directives, it's also touching on the same matter. So as a committee, we have to do the work because we have to fulfill the rules and procedures, unless you are advised otherwise.
I hear you, so that you save time. In your report, there is indication that the chief officer is engaged in Kenya Power Lighting Company.
Yes.
In Honorable Mateso's request is that there has been a lot of engagement that is not bearing fruits and there is no evidence. And therefore, that's why yesterday we said, I will give you an opportunity. Yesterday we said, can the matter of KPLC, which are the core of that project, be resolved and get a substantive response on the status, including evidence of proof of payment and any evidence of correspondence between the Department of Water and Kenya Power to demonstrate indeed the alleged follow-up has been there. Because a telephone conversation, SMS, is not an official communication. And then a commitment on when that matter is going to be resolved, so that if a department has an issue, the committee may wish to engage the Kenya Power directly and find out how to resolve the matter. Now, if we consider this report, we will be constrained to debate on that matter immediately that issue is resolved. Now, the latest debate was on the directions that were given by the Speaker yesterday. And therefore, allowing the motion to proceed is going to preempt the decision that was taken. So my advice would be that allow yourselves first to give us evidence and information on status of that electricity connection with the information that was requested. Once we are satisfied with that matter and the commitment that the department will give, you will carry that content into your report as a recommendation. Yes. Honorable Sarah.
Mr. Speaker, sir, additional information is that in the report we have attached the payment, even if the date they paid, and it is attached there. It is not when they will pay, but they have already paid, and we have attached the documents, Mr. Speaker, sir. So it is only that the KPLC are being waited to deliver the transformer, but the payments are already done.
Yes, unless you missed the chamber, we did not have a problem with payment. That payment was done a long time ago, and the problem is not payment. The problem is why payment has been done and no action has been taken. Do you have that answer? No. Yes. So your report will take us to where Honorable Mateso was yesterday. Therefore, allow us to rest that matter, prioritize with the issue and the direction that were given yesterday, then we'll revert to the report. So that matter is deferred until the issues raised by Mateso in a statement are responded to. Chairperson of Committee on Gender.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the Makueni County Sports Policy 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 47-2A and 55 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to give a statement of the business of the County Assembly for the coming week. Mr. Speaker, sir, the following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly in the coming week. Monday, 26th August 2024. Motions. 1. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Joint Committee of Delegated Legislation and Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services Committee on Public Finance Management, that is Makueni County Empowerment Fund Regulations 2024. 2. Motion for the adoption of the report of Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services Committee on the Makueni County Sports Policy 2024. 3. Motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Delegated County Legislation for the period January to June 2024. Motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the County Public Accounts Committee for the period January to June 2024. 5. Motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Special Interest for the period January to June 2024. Tuesday, 27th August 2024. Afternoon plenary. Statements. Sorry, this should be, I want to repeat that, Honorable Speaker. Tuesday, 27th August 2024. Morning plenary. Statements. 1. Response to the statement regarding the submission of the Konza Technopolis buffer zone, physical and land use development plan to the County Assembly of Makueni as was requested by the member for Muka Ward. 2. Response to the statement regarding the lack of medical supplies in health facilities in the county and particularly in Ilima Ward as was requested by the member for Ilima Ward. Motions. 1. There will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Bursary Fund, quarterly reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. 2. There will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Climate Change Fund, quarterly reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. And 3. There will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Youth, Men, Women, Persons with Disabilities and Table Banking Groups Empowerment Fund, quarterly report and financial statements for the period ending 31st March 2024. Afternoon plenary, there will be statements. 1. Response to the statement regarding the Kathonzweni Dairy Processing Plant as was requested by the member for Kathonzweni Ward. 2. Response to the statement regarding the Mwangine sump tank by the member for Kaskeo Ward as was requested by the member for Kaskeo Ward. 3. Response to the statement regarding the need to establish an access road connecting Makueni County and Kajiado County through Kambu Market as was requested by the member for Ivingoni Zambani Ward. Motions. 1. Motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee for the period January to June 2024. 2. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Receiver of Revenue quarterly reports and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. And 3. Motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Powers and Privileges Committee for the period January to June 2024. On Wednesday, 28th August 2024, there will be a motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Selection Committee for the period January to June 2024. And 2, there will be a motion for the adoption of the County Government Budget Implementation Review Report for the first 9 months of the financial year 2023-2024. And 3, there will be a motion for the adoption of half-yearly progress report of the Procedure and Rules Committee for the period January to June 2024. 4, there will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration, and Special Programs on the annual report of the Makueni County Public Service Board for the year 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, there shall be a meeting of the Assembly Business Committee on Monday, 26th August 2024 at 9 a.m. And pursuant to the discussions of that meeting, additional business may be scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly during that week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Member for Tenzio Ward to request for a statement from the chairperson, Committee on Water and Sanitation regarding construction of decentralized treatment facility in Wote Town.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Article 43, 1B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that every person has the right to reasonable standards of sanitation. Mr. Speaker, sir, Wote Town being the headquarters is registering a steady growth in the population, which has seen increase in the number of residential premises, increase in schools populations, business premises, government, private offices, among others. Mr. Speaker, with the increase in population, the demand for use of water has gone up, and consequently, the increase in production of sewer and water. Mr. Speaker, sir, the national government designs an elaborate sewer system for Wote Town and was backed for implementation before the plans went quiet. The national government had conducted a feasibility study, drew the detailed designs and the bill of quantities. Consequently, in order to properly manage the sewer from the town, the county government in the financial year 2023-2024 allocated Kenya shillings 2.7 million for the construction of a decentralized treatment facility for Wote Town, which was a matching grant from the Water Trust Fund for construction of an DTF and other related activities in Wote Town. Mr. Speaker, however, the construction of the DTF has not commenced, despite the dire needs to have it in place in order to facilitate the proper disposal and management of sewer from the town. Mr. Speaker, sir, the chairperson should therefore clarify on the following. The plans the department has put in place towards the construction of DTF with regards conduct of feasibility study, drawings of the detailed designs, a bill of quantities as being planned by the national government. B, what is the status of implementation of Kenya shilling 2.7 million allocated as a matching grant for the construction of a DTF for Wote Town? C, how much has been received as a grant from the Water Trust Fund, and what projects what projects other than the construction of the DTF are to be implemented by the received grant? Are there any plans to conduct the DTF? If yes, is the land available and where? E, why is the waste from the pit latrines in Wote and the eastern environment currently emptied? Provide a list of registered exhausters, service providers in Wote Town and where they empty the effluent. F, whether there is a private DTF serving Wote Town. If yes, provide details, design, and approval by the county government. G, what are the long-term plans for wastewater management for water and other major towns in the county? And H, whether there is a detailed design for a DTF for water town. If yes, provide a copy of the design. Mr. Speaker, just allow me to just give some additional information about this statement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think you are witness that during the second assembly, Mr. Speaker, I've been raising this issue of the DTF. And Mr. Speaker, money has been allocated severally in several budgets to do a DTF, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, up to this point, the DTF has not been actually constructed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest problems that were raised by the executive as to why the DTF has not been constructed is the issue of land, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's surprising, Mr. Speaker, to mention, I happened to get an opportunity to visit Nakuru County, and we were learning about sanitation and the issue of DTFs, dump sites. Mr. Speaker, I actually learned that a DTF will require just 50 by 100 plot, Mr. Speaker. Which, Mr. Speaker, I wonder if this count cannot get just a 50 by 100, Mr. Speaker. Not 50 by 100 years, a plot to do a DTF, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even after the donor has just come in, Mr. Speaker, with a grant, Mr. Speaker, up to now, there's nothing happening, Mr. Speaker. The money is available and there's nothing happening up to now, Mr. Speaker. We are surprised, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, about over 80% of the latrines in this town are fit latrines, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the now 10 years since devolution, Mr. Speaker, we are wondering where this effluent goes to. The effluent from these fit latrines, we always wonder where it goes to, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I can just surprise you that it ends actually in the waters that we consume here in this town, Mr. Speaker. That is the truth, Mr. Speaker, and I'm not afraid to say so, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I would request the chair to handle this matter with the urgency it deserves, Mr. Speaker. And because, Mr. Speaker, we can't stay without a DTF. Water town having no sewer, a DTF is very necessary, and it's not hard to construct, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I keep asking so many questions. Why has the DTF not been done up to this time? So I think actually this statement, this was my second statement when I came to this house, actually. That was 2017, Mr. Speaker. You can recall, because, Mr. Speaker, you are the Speaker at that time, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I may not listen to any other thing apart from the DTF being constructed, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Water Services, Water and Sanitation. Before then, what is it, Honorable Galuna?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And before maybe I comment, I also wish to welcome students and stakeholders from Kalawa, where our member, Honorable Kali, represents. And since he is away, Honorable Speaker, I thought as a member of the party Muungano, and also being our minority whip, I wished to welcome the students, teachers, and parents of Mwambane Comprehensive School to Makueni County Assembly, and wish them in their future endeavors. Honorable Speaker, I want also to take the opportunity to thank the Honorable Member for Wote, Nzio, Honorable Mateso, my senior, for coming up with the statement even long after having done that when he was a junior member of this assembly, Honorable Speaker. And I think now that he has come for the second time, this DTF thing will be sorted once and for all. I want also to promise him that even the Bible says, when you ask, it will be given to you. I will not quote the exact verse, but even Jesus himself was referring to scriptures without being specific with whatever was being quoted, Honorable Speaker. So I think this is the right time, Honorable Member for Water and people of Water. And in fact, this is the headquarter of the county. And we receive many visitors across the globe, Honorable Speaker, and it is good we have this DTF matter solved once and for all. I can tell, because I come from where a DTF happens to be working in Kibwezi, Honorable Speaker, the moment they get a modern city, like a modern city in Kibwezi, Honorable Speaker, they will really appreciate the services of this major town, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is very detrimental to learn that the headquarter and also the only municipality which started in this county, Honorable Speaker, in the first place, Honorable Speaker, doesn't have the services of DTFs. I would wish, Honorable Speaker, this statement can be expanded to even include other places, because this is a very brilliant idea to come up with a statement to help the people of Makueni come up with newer stuff, Honorable Speaker. And modernity will dictate that a town coming up should be considered with a DTF and other amenities, Honorable Speaker. So it will be very harsh, Honorable Speaker, to the people of Wote and even other municipalities, because we are coming up with another municipality in Boni, Kee, Honorable Speaker, and since Kibwezi is also going to benefit from the same, Honorable Speaker, it is good we expand this statement to include other major towns. We are not talking of the shopping centers. We are talking about the major towns of this county, Honorable Speaker. We can try to even have a priority list on how the county executive and the department concerned, Honorable Speaker, is going to have this priority list being committed to the assembly, and for us to do a proper oversight, Honorable Speaker, on the same. So, Honorable Speaker, if you can expand this, we really appreciate. Even people of Mtitwande, where we also come from, Honorable Speaker, they will really appreciate, because if it is done in Water, it can be done elsewhere, Honorable Speaker. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, because I even listened very keenly, that 50 by 100 plot is sufficient enough to serve this county, Honorable Speaker. It calls for a very simple commitment, Honorable Speaker, because I remember the last time such a statement came, the Honorable Member for Muvao saw this as a disadvantage to the people of Muvao Kikumen, because people here want to build a DTF outside this ward, Honorable Speaker, meaning the people of Muvao will bear the cost of having a DTF housing staff from this county, Honorable Speaker, from this county headquarters, Honorable Speaker. So, as also a member of the Party Muungano, I will stand with my member, Honorable Kawembe, to make sure that this 50 by 100 or whatever space will be looked out for to build this DTF, Honorable Speaker. It must come from Wote Nzio ward, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, the people of Muvao will not understand how you want to dispose of I know, they will not understand that language. So, Honorable Speaker, as we consider that, this statement should also give a solution to the people of Muvao and surroundings, not to house such DTF, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to just stop at that, and I wish members also could give more input so that we can have a more comprehensive statement covering the whole county, and even giving a priority list so that members can easily oversight the executive department. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to send those sentiments.
What is the point of order, Honorable Mateso?
It's not a point of order, Mr. Speaker. It's some information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I understand and I know, I heard what the honorable member is saying, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker is like kind of creating some unnecessary wounds that want to maybe look like we are fighting with my neighbor, Honorable Kawembe. Mr. Speaker, that is not the case, Mr. Speaker. It should not be the case, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, a DTF is something totally different from the expectation of many. And I want Honorable Kalunda to benefit from this information. If you go to Nakuru County, where we visited with Honorable Kawembe, you will never get even single smell from the DTF, as you may be thinking. It is very clean, and there is nothing like smell actually for the DTF. Mr. Speaker, it's also good to give information that DTF in Nakuru County is one of the biggest revenue earner, Mr. Speaker, because any exhauster which is actually coming to pour the effluent actually in that DTF is paying some good amount of money, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even the county itself does not use exhausters. It doesn't have exhausters. They only hire. And then the revenue is now, from the DTF. So, Mr. Speaker, we are missing so much. The DTM is a very important facility. It should be done. And that is why I'm saying I will accept nothing less of a DTM, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, also at the same time, I don't want to benefit with this information because it's misleading, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I am not actually saying that we should not expand in other towns. But, Mr. Speaker, I've already have a budget which is in place. A budget is there already. And it's actually was actually done in the last financial year, and all the projects are being implemented. The question is, when are we getting the DTA? Because the money is already there, and donor is actually has brought also money. That is my biggest worry, because, Mr. Speaker, as it has been in the other years, Mr. Speaker, budget has always been allocated, and then there is no implementation because of just a simple piece of land which is needed, a 50 by 100, which we have all over. There is land.
Now, Honorable Mateso, honorable members, if you've listened to Honorable Mateso, you must be careful to question him on DTF, because it may embarrass you. He knows much more. So don't delve into the city. Problems of city are complicated. If you come from rural, don't get in the debate of the water city. So let us not make this a debate. I think Honorable Mateso has eloquently given a background to this matter. I hear you, Honorable Kalunda. You are indicating that it is important that we also get to know the status of other DTFs and the status of other towns in this county. Your point is on. Member for Kithungo, Kitundu Ward.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think we are confusing our visitors, Honorable Speaker, because in the statement requested by the member for Hortensio Ward, he just mentioned something called a DTF. So DTF can mean anything. So I wanted to clarify that DTF is a decentralized treatment facility. It's usually used to treat raw sewage. Raw sewage comprises of probably sewage from the toilets, which are sewered, or from the water, the exhausters, which exhaust from pit latrines and deposit in the decentralized treatment facility. Honorable Speaker, on what Honorable Mateso is saying, we have a law of this country called the Environment Management and Coordination Act 1999, and that law is very clear on the standards of treatment in a DTF. It's also very clear on the discharge, the sewage discharge, which must come from that facility, and anybody can benefit from that law. You can just go and Google MCA 1999 and read about the discharge, and the standards are in relation to the ontour, the color, and the palatability of that particular discharge. So it's very clear the DTF is not expected to produce any harmful elements to human beings. Honorable Speaker, my other concern is about some monies which were allocated or monies which were, to put it rightfully, which were passed through this assembly, and Honorable Mateso talked of about 2.7 million, Honorable Speaker. This money has been lying in the county treasury on paper without being spent. And the people of Wote and the people of this county are suffering, while money is just lying in the papers, and these amounts were appropriated in this assembly 1 year ago. So, Honorable Speaker, I think it's high time we exponentially expand this statement to even cover that particular item. Why is money still lying in your papers while people are not benefiting from this particular facility? Honorable Speaker, on the issue which was raised by the minority leader, Honorable Speaker, I think it's high time. We have been here, I think I've been a member for the last 6 years. And Honorable Speaker, we have been talking of our towns benefiting from such services as the DTF, such services as solid waste, and such things as the sewage works, for example, for big towns. I think it's time we now exponentially expand this particular statement, especially on the sewerage coverage in our county. We have towns. Now, if we talk of a town like Tawa in Boni, where does that particular sewage go to, if not River Gwani? So, Honorable Speaker, it's high time we now get to understand each other, because we might be polluting our rivers. We are going to be beneficiaries of one of the biggest dams in the world, the Dwake Dam. And Honorable Speaker, I'm wondering if we are polluting our rivers without giving a better reason as to why we are not constructing sewerage treatment facilities. Honorable Speaker, what are we doing to our people? What are we doing to our children? And we know consumption of contaminated waters results to diseases, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I want you to rule from your chair that we may expand, and I put it rightfully, exponentially expand that statement to cover Makueni County. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member from Lale Malu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was only about to request that since this matter has been placed in hands of the committee, I wish they can fast-track depending on the urgency of the matter. I understand what Honorable Mateso is saying, because Wote is nearly the same or equal to Emali town or Emali urban center. Actually, when someone mentioned about markets, people who have no urban centers might not understand the necessity of these DTF. But actually, Wote being our HQ center, and with the management of wastewater, liquid waste in the town, it's causing a lot of pollution. We are expecting over a million population in the next 6 months. Actually, we expect 6,000 students, 7,000 in water in the next couple of weeks. So you expect water, because it is advancedly growing, we expect such facilities like the DTF to be fast-tracked. And I wish the committee can get into this matter seriously and give us a response within the shortest time possible. Honorable Speaker, there are systems, and I wish the leader of government, business, can listen to this, because it matters very much. Honorable Speaker, the DTFs, which are being mentioned as a way of doing or providing solution on this wastewater, can create jobs. We can do PPP, private-public partnership, that are on contractual basis, which can create jobs to our people. It is a shame when we have resources lying idle while our people and our youths are jobless. We can tap these resources, push on the implementation. Other than disposing the waste, we will have created some more jobs. We will have made our urban center very clean. And I feel what my colleague is questioning, because this is a push from the public. I saw the bitterness in him. It is not about him. It is about the general public, the dwellers, the beneficiaries of our water center. So, Honorable Speaker, without maybe a lot of time, the committee can now work up very fast and give us less than 7 days to respond to this statement. Actually, that will be helpful to the member and to the general population of Wote Urban Center. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me start by appreciating.
What is it that you wanted to say on the Bukatem Kawembe? Almost Honorable Kateme. Apologies, Kawembe. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this statement from Honorable Mateso is very important. And Mr. Speaker, is the member has alluded, a DTF only requires a 50 by 100 a size of a plot, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a very big problem in our county, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, last week, there's a statement from Muvao Kikumene Ward, which was brought on the floor of this house on the management of the solid waste from any factory, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, there is also another dam by the name Kwaketeke. Kwaketeke has been on this floor for a long time. This dam borders Muvao Kikumene Ward and Mavendene Ward, Mr. Speaker. And there's a private DTF, Mr. Speaker. And sometimes when you pass through Wote, Kwakadoka, Chemole Road, Kadonzoni Road, Mr. Speaker, in between there is a very, very bad smell which is coming from that DTF, Mr. Speaker. And the DTF, Mr. Speaker, is built upstream of the dam, Mr. Speaker. There are so many issues of solid liquid waste, Mr. Speaker, in this county, which needs to be looked into with a lot of care, Mr. Speaker. I'm also waiting for that statement, which was requested on this floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, so that we can know where the solid waste from any company, where they dispose their liquid waste and also their solid waste, Mr. Speaker. So this statement from Honorable Mateso, Mr. Speaker, is very important because he only requires a small plot, Mr. Speaker. And you know, Mr. Speaker, this issue of disposing liquid waste, Mr. Speaker, in Muvao Kikumene ward, Mr. Speaker, it really irritates me. It really irritates me, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, the perception of my people in Muvao Kikumene ward, Mr. Speaker, it is actually negative, and I can see it on the floor of this house with a loud voice, Mr. Speaker. It is actually negative, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mateso, I know he can purchase a plot of 50 by 100, Mr. Speaker, from the ward. From the ward kitty, Mr. Speaker, out of the 33 million, Mr. Speaker, so that we can solve the issue of land and also the liquid waste from water ward, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm also waiting for that statement so that I can also talk or speak on behalf of my people, Mr. Speaker. Because there is also a problem. There's a problem in Muvao Kikumene ward. At the same time, there's a problem in water ward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform Honorable Kawembe, the private DTF, which is now helping this town, it's in its ward as we talk. In our ward, sorry. In our ward, actually it is there. It is also at the boundary of Mabindini and your ward. So the Eni factory is also actually pouring all the waste to your ward. So, Mr. Speaker, a DTF is better than what is now existing in their ward. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think the issue of land is an issue. And I'm not saying the DTF should be built to Kawembe's place. We have a lot of land around. We can, and we have actually 100 acres actually at his ward, which belong to the government. Yeah, at our ward, which actually belong to the government. So the issue is, I was not asking where the DTF will be done. It can be done anywhere. But the
Honorable members, I think we are losing each other. The request by Mateso has not referred to the word Bao neither Mavindini. And the Honorable Mateso has a very simple and concise request for statement. There's a budget allocation, there's public land, or discussing what is or Kikumene Muvao, that has nothing to do with the statement as requested.
People of Makueni, Wote is our central city, like the way we go to Nairobi. So any of the members of the 30 wards, anytime you come to Wote, which is our central city, you become actually a partaker of the services within Wote. So the issue of whether this is for Muvao, or whether it's for Nsu, whether it's for Ilima, whether it's for what, does not even arise, is not here nor there. This is because we are all building one city, which will be associated with Makueni County as one people, one nation, and one community. The member of Mali raised a very pertinent issue on the PPP, the private, the public-private partnership. Other members have also talked about the expansivity of this particular project. The Speaker, I would like a scenario whereby we address one problem in Wote, and the member of Mali brings another statement here. The member of Kikubulu Northeast brings another statement. The member of Kaskeum brings another statement. So, Mr. Speaker, if you allow us, I think it's the high time we need to look at this TTF in totality across the Makueni County. And this I request 21 days so that at least we can expand to these other areas and bring real answers to this issue as opposed to handling it partially. The issue of handling it partially is what has caused it to stay for over 6 years. If I got my minority leader well, he said that Mateso This statement is as old as the early times when Matthias joined this particular house. That's beyond 6 years. And so that we do not have a similar scenario. 21 days would be good. At the same time, also bring out this point that the DTF is not like the raw sewage being dumped. This is a serious modern facility which will take care of the concerns of the members into courts. And as the chair, I'll work towards achieving that because the people of Makueni must be taken care of. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. 21 days, Honorable Madam.
Mr. Speaker, I don't disagree with what the chair is saying, but my speaker, because this issue is very ancient, Mr. Speaker, and already money is there. My biggest question is why are they not implementing the project and money is already there? If we actually join it with the other towns that may require, but and in case there is any other town that requires DTF, Mali and any other town, Mr. Speaker, they are better. There is a DTF at Sultan Hamud, there is a DTF at Kibos, there is a DTF. So let's isolate this case of water. Because we need to know the money is lying there and it's not being used. So when we actually join it with the other towns, Mr. Speaker, it may take long. I'm wondering 21 days just to question why are you not using the funds and they are there. 21 days is a lot of time. This will just require only 7 days to question why the money has not been used and there is money already. And remember, it is money for the last financial year, which has not been actually implemented. Actually.
Your point is made?
Yeah.
Honorable members, allow me to note on this matter. It's 4 p.m. It's 4 p.m. Please. We will debate. At the end of the day, we will narrow down to whether 21 or 7 days. But again, I can allow those who want to speak. But after you speak, I will still go back to whether 7 or 21 days. The floor is open.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting that this is not an emergency, and it is a good statement for the people of Makueni. So there is no need to rush, and since the chair has committed and undertook to do a comprehensive job within 21 days. 21 doesn't mean it will expire. He may not exhaust the 21 days. It means the grace period is up to 21 days. The last day is 21 days. So he can even do that within 14 days.
So you are supporting 21 days?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because I wished, Speaker.
You've made your point.
You know why I'm saying that?
You know,
I want to pursue Honorable Mateso. You know, is my...
I will not give him an opportunity to speak. I heard him.
I wanted him to feel...
Persuade me.
I want to persuade the Speaker.
Persuade me, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to persuade the Speaker and for also Honorable Mateso to learn that it is good to be a big brother to everybody. Now that you've come up with the statement, it can help other people. And since we are in agreement that other towns can benefit from this kind of statement, I think everybody will be fine and it will be good for everybody coming to the headquarters here and also the people of Makueni, the great people of Makueni. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. 21 days is the best.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm worried when the people of Wote, Muvau, and Kikumeni cannot accept a DTF. And they need to understand Wote and Mutwandei were the only urban centers during the county council time. And Mutwandei, we have been seriously and aggressively looking for a DTF. Yes. Where Human Waste is poured in Mutwandei, it's an open ground. And I feel if we are going to supplementally, and the money from Tanathi, we can allocate that money to Mutwandei as they look for a site. We are missing that facility as fast as we can. To us, it's an emergency. And we are prone to diseases because of lack of a DTF. So I feel strongly, as I request members, support me. We relocate that money to Mutwandei and we get a DTF. They will proceed with their complications and they will get the money on a later date. Mr. Speaker, I need that DTF tomorrow in Mutitwandei. We are going for supplementary and the lobby members, we have a reallocation and they wait for the money. And the money is meant for Makueni County. Doesn't need for water.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform Deputy Speaker that according to the statement from Honorable Mateso, there is nowhere that he has mentioned Movao Kikumene ward. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, our DS should keep off from Movao Kikumene ward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, the time is moving. Now, Honorable Mateso has a request, one, for 21 days, two, that an expansion to other towns in this county. I do not know which are these towns because they are all over. You have some like Kwakatoka where it is not needed. You have Kathonzweni, you are not sure whether they need it or not. You have Mbuvo, for example, you are not sure whether it's needed. You have Kisingo, you have Makindu, you have Kiboko, you have named them, you have Kisayani, you have Ilima, you have Ke. Now, when we open that statement to other towns, which towns are we referring to?
Mr. Speaker,
Bishop, you can sit down.
I would have given you the opportunity, but you've gone ahead to address another member.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When when I look at it critically, there's a time the member for Emali.
Please just help me.
Yes.
On when you want beyond
The expansion,
water.
specifically the municipalities. This one, Emali municipality,
There are only two municipalities.
and the member, the big town in Tawa and Mutitwandei. Those four will be very key when about this issue of the DTF. Why? Because earlier on, we had a similar case brought here as a statement by the member of Emali, which was actually partially addressed.
So that is to say, at least in each sub-county.
At least in each sub-county, yes. The major towns.
At least one in each sub-county. Because you
That's
can't
true.
ask one in each ward. Those are 30. It's not reasonable.
I'm saying the 6 sub-counties, each sub-county has a major town.
Yes.
So we can start with the major towns as we delineate ourselves to other towns upcoming.
And you see, in the case of Kibwezi West, there is an existing one.
So that it becomes an advantage to the community.
Kilome, and so is a municipality for a Mali municipality. It has an existing one that requires.
However, not as functional as it ought to be. So we need to come up with the comprehensive.
What I'm trying to say,
Yes.
for the Sultan one, you are not looking for budget. You want to know why it is not functioning.
Exactly.
And you see Kibwezi West and Sultan, they are bordering. So that's why I'm asking you, you need again to sit down and figure out so that you don't complicate.
That's
Because
true.
you don't require 30 DTFs.
That's true.
The little experience tells me that. And they don't have to be sub-county based. Because some towns are across a
They are close.
sub-county.
That's true.
Like Sultan and Emal is one and the same town but different sub-counties. So you will, in your own wisdom, find
Yes.
a way of arriving at a number that is reasonably to serve some regions.
You see, Mr. Speaker, sir, I can attest to you and to the House. We will not be working as a committee in isolation. We will involve the professionals of the county so that we can come up with a comprehensive and a full answer to the matter.
So then the expansion is other DTFs in the county to facilitate sustainable management of the West Ward.
Agreed.
So then you will arrive at how many?
Exactly.
Then it means you require only one extra question after Honorable Mateso's statement.
Yes.
Because you don't have a budget, you don't have a land, you have never requested for a statement for them before, and then you just need to know what the plans the department have on other DTFs in the county to serve each and every region. And
There
on
you
what
are,
basis.
Mr. Speaker. That's what I'm looking at.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Honorable Elizabeth?
Honorable Speaker, it's like you have summed what I wanted to ask the chair, because you see the case for water is different from any other existing DTF in the county. They have already a budget, and the member wants to know why that budget has not been implemented. And Honorable Speaker, we have a tendency here with members, when a member requests for a statement, then they don't want to come out to ask statements, but they want to lump their request on top of a member's request and they escape through the door.
And they walk out.
Yes, so Honorable Speaker, it's also good for members to know they have a right to ask their own statements, not to wait for other members to request for statements and they come to lump their request over that statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
See, Chairperson, see the advocates of extension of that statement, when they were, and I have not ruled on it. So since they are not here, you know, in court you cannot make a ruling or a judgment when the applicants are absent. In the absence, I direct as follows. I know member from Mulale Mali, in less than 2 hours, he will have a statement on the Sultan and the Mali one. So that we take this business seriously. Mheshimiwa, you know, we have to be serious with each other. If you make an application, you must allow it to be successful. The same way you have been seated there. Can you deal with the matter of Mateso successfully? And then you will approach the office of the Speaker to see how that matter can be handled. I can see member from Lale Mali, he always has drafted is, so that then he will sort that municipality. I am not pleased with making applications and quitting, even before a determination has been done. You see, the requester who spoke for longer than anyone else has left, and his counterpart has left. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, you know my heart. When I am doing things, I don't do it for individuals here. I am doing it with a wide perspective of Makueni people.
Okay.
If we look, yes, Makueni people. I'm not even,
on your own motion,
on my own,
as a committee, on
yes,
your own motion,
as a committee, yes.
The request.
So we cannot look at an individual who's walked out.
Let me say this.
Yes.
The requests that were meant cannot be granted because the requesters are not here.
Yes.
On your own motion, can
Yes.
you be persuaded to make it practical possible to get the information on the status of other areas that they may want to be covered?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
And in a proper utility of resources, it becomes very heavy and a very misuse of resources. If I land one statement here, tomorrow I'm sitting on another statement from a Mali. The after tomorrow. So in order to be comprehensive and use that energy for another time for something else,
We are done.
We can be able to consolidate.
We are done.
That's my prayer.
Honorable Mateso, don't you worry. You are the mayor of the city, and everyone in Makueni is in this town. And they also need your services in their respective areas. So when your statement is expanded, no, it is being expanded because those people come from Kaskeu, they come from Kibwezi, they come from all over this county, and they are MCA for everybody anyway, including all of us. So you are a mother with many children. So please prepare to breastfeed. Don't complain when we hang on your breasts. Just eat more to provide more milk and provide more services and more treatments. That's why you are the mayor of the city. Chairperson, Committee on Education, ICT, to respond to statement as requested by member for Kumbulu North Ward regarding issuance of the bursary. 21. Honorable Marezo, 21 would be reasonable. Chairperson, whether the statement is expanded or not, we will not take supplementary information. We invited the ACM. Please, you will deal with that matter. You invite the CCM member. You will invite Honorable Mateso. You conclude everything. Please don't come here with reading us answers from executive. Give us answers with recommendations. Fair enough. Chairperson, Education. Deferred Chairperson, Committee on Environment and Climate Change. On a statement as requested by member for Kikumini Mova Ward. Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, this statement is not ready. We seek that we present it next week on Wednesday.
Why is it not ready?
The ECM and indicated that a report will come on Monday
Monday when?
next week.
Next week.
And since we sit on Wednesday morning,
So how much time were you given to consider this matter?
I'm not very sure.
14 days. So 14 days are expiring when?
When?
Today is 14 days. Yes, the statement is due.
Yeah, it's due on the, it's just on the threshold of the due date.
Allow me to help you.
Yes.
Consistently, of course, in your committee, every statement has a chair. So I don't know which chair to address, because even I know that other time there will be another chair to respond. But let me use our committee. Your department is one of those that are inconsistent. They are not taking timelines for the assembly seriously. It has been mentioned before, every other time you have to keep on postponing things. On matters related to environment and on matters related to lands. Honorable Chair, so your ECM, whether on the side of lands, is on a red zone. Please notify him that the speed at which he is responding to the statement is wanting. And in fact, it is a demonstration that you are not aware and you require a month to know what is happening around you. I presume that some of these statements requires a day or two for an executive committee member, if you are on top of things. So please just kindly pass that word.
I will.
Next time we just read standing orders.
Yes.
And don't plead with us.
Okay. Thank you.
You have indicated when? Next week on Wednesday. Fair enough. Honorable Gambe, you have an objection?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the chair of this committee is not serious about this statement because, Mr. Speaker, I have more serious problems more than Honorable Mateso. 14 days, Mr. Speaker. What was the department doing, Mr. Speaker? And Mr. Speaker, I would like also to know where the Henny company disposes their solid waste, Mr. Speaker, and liquid waste, Mr. Speaker. I think it is not added in the statement, Mr. Speaker. That one should be also an additional information, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, why is the department taking too long to answer a simple statement, Mr. Speaker? Because, Mr. Speaker, the solid waste, Mr. Speaker, is in between the families, Mr. Speaker. And there's a lot of pollution, air pollution, Mr. Speaker. How are we going to help the people of Mugawaki Kumene Ward, Mr. Speaker? Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this department should take their work seriously, Mr. Speaker, because I remember last time when we were in the meeting with ECM Water, ECM Lands, Honorable Kaleli was there. We requested to know the number of private DTFs which are operating in Makueni County, Mr. Speaker. And I am sure the department has not yet given the information, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, Wednesday is too far for this information, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, Monday we should have the report on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, because the matter is very serious, very serious. The chair is just taking it lightly and he is trying to convince me to say Wednesday. But, Mr. Speaker, from my hand, I want to say Monday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Chairperson, if 14 days have expired, then what stops you from expiring today? And today is ending at 5 p.m. We'll give you a benefit of doubt, assuming that that response will come tomorrow, Friday, correct? That would you read, I direct that you read that response on Monday at 2:30. Your committee may not have met, but you have to read it.
With your...
So that
We will do exactly that.
it is not we. It is not we. Yes.
You say this this committee has so many chairs.
I'm not
Probably
sure.
that day I will not be a chair.
I do not want confusion that time. If we will not get, so are you sure you will not be present?
I'm just a chair for the day.
No, I'm asking, are you sure you will be absent?
I may be in, but as a member.
If you will be in, don't you
Yes.
worry.
Yes.
The speaker has directed you to produce that information because you have given personal commitments.
Okay.
Can you read that statement at 2:30? You know, if it's not read, it will confirm to you that what I'm saying, that the Department of Lands and Environment has been flagged for inconsistencies on matters related to turnaround time on responding to these issues.
Honorable Speaker, I will read if a substantive chair will not be in.
Even if the chair will be there, I will ask him to give it to you because we will not introduce him what we were discussing.
Okay, if it's just reading, I will read.
That's fine. No undertakings.
Yeah, no problem. I am up to it.
Mr. Speaker, I happen to be a member of that committee, but I think we have digital platforms. If the information comes, you can share it. You don't have to read exactly what comes. You can deliberate and bring results here.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fairly speaking, Honorable Muthoka seems a little bit older than you, but is proving more digital than us. And so borrow from his words. If you receive it tomorrow, circulate it with the request of the statement, but it must be laid and read before you then consider it to come on Wednesday. Yes. And indicate to the ECM those are the directions. And if that will not be, then we will be dealing with something else. Next order. Before next order, Chairperson Committee on Water Sanitation to respond to statement as was tweeted by member from Masongaleni Ward regarding an operations of Mokoyone Sandam in Masongaleni Ward. Chairperson.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we wrote to the ECM and up to now we have not received the information. Kindly can you get an extension?
Timeline?
Could be by Tuesday.
What was the timeline granted by the Assembly that time? Member from Masongaleni, you may remember, how many days did we request? 14 days, expiring when? Today. Do we have the response? No.
We have not gotten the response, so I will push we get it.
How do we scale you?
Yeah, by Tuesday.
Tuesday?
In the afternoon.
No. On Monday at 2:30, whether committee meets on Monday morning or not.
Agreed.
We want to, because the due date is today 5 p.m.
Agreed, Mr. Speaker.
I've given you benefit of doubt.
I have no issue with that.
Give us status on Monday.
Okay.
Failure to which it will be deemed to be a failure and we will deal with it as such.
Don't worry.
Fair enough.
I will take charge.
Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, waiving of publication period.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and sorry for the little delay. Honorable Speaker, I want to move the procedural motion that notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 141, this Assembly resolves to waive the publication period of the Makueni County Finance Bill 2024, popularly known as Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this motion is from the House Business Committee, so I call upon Honorable Mutuku to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that notwithstanding provision of Standing Order number 141, the Assembly resolves to waive the publication period of the Makueni County Finance Bill year 2024, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of the year 2024. The floor is open. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I urge the members to support this procedural motion so that we may now deal with the finance bill, and I thank them for cooperating on this. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that notwithstanding provisions of Standing Order number 141, the Assembly resolved to waive the publication period of the Makueni County Finance Bill of the year 2024, which is the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of the year 2024. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, the Makueni County Finance Bill 2024, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of 2024. Order for first reading.
Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning. Honorable members, I now direct that the bill be read. The first time that's first reading.
The Makueni County Finance Bill 2024, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Makueni to provide for the imposition or variation of fees, charges, licenses, rents or rates for services pursuant to Article 209 and 210 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and for connected purposes. First reading.
Honorable members, Chairperson, Committee on Finance, you have a comment to make? Leader, Chairperson Lyson, have you slotted sufficient time for this bill to be processed before 30th of September? Have you slotted sufficient time?
Yes, and even the work plan was shared to all members. Thank you.
Fair enough. That being the case, the Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning, you will consider this bill within the period as guided by the Chairperson Lyson. Next order.
Order number 10, the Makueni County Agricultural Training Bill 2024, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of 2024. Order for second reading.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion, which is that the Makueni County Agricultural Training Center Bill 2024, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of 2024, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, I just go straight to the objective of the bill, and Mr. Speaker, the bill seeks to provide for the establishment of Makueni Agricultural Training Center, then provide for a legal framework for governance, administration, institutional development and management of Makueni Agricultural Training Center. And C, provide for a framework for effective and sustainable engagement with stakeholders for specialized and quality agricultural education, training, research, technology, transfer, and ancillary services. So, Speaker, overview of the bill is that the bill seeks to provide a legal framework for establishment of the Makueni Agricultural Training Center as a body corporate to ensure provision of specialized and quality agricultural training and ancillary services to the farmers of Makueni County in order to help enhance the capacity of farmers to improve food security and standards of living. Mr. Speaker, the bill also seeks to convert the facility as now existing into a top agricultural training center by matching infrastructural development in order to fulfill its mandate and functions. The bill, Mr. Speaker, also seeks to develop a training program that addresses the real needs of the agricultural sector as well as the issue of environmental health and the reduction of poverty in the face of the global challenges such as climate change. So, Speaker, Part 1 of the bill, sections 1 to 3, provides for preliminary provisions. This part provides for the purpose of the bill is the establishment of the Makueni Agricultural Center and provide a framework for governance, administration, and management of the Makueni Agricultural Training Center and provide for a framework for effective and sustainable engagement with stakeholders for training, research, technology, transfer, and institutional development to provide education and training in agriculture, and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. So, Speaker, Part 2 of the bill, Sections 4 to 7, provides for establishment of the Makueni Agricultural Training Center and its functions, administrative duties of the principal, as well as the staff of the institution are highlighted. Part 3, Mr. Speaker, Sections 8 to 14, provides for the establishment of the board, its composition, and contains a manner in which members will be appointed and the related matters. So, Speaker, Part 4, Sections 14 to 18 of the bill provides for funds for the administration of this bill. It also looks at auditing of the accounts to ensure fiscal responsibility. Part 5, Mr. Speaker, that is 19 to 21, provides for general provisions which include the powers of the executive member to make regulations for the better carrying out of purpose and provisions for this bill. So, Speaker, the enactment of this bill will result in additional expenditure of public funds to be provided for through the annual budget estimates. So, Speaker, under the schedules, the first schedule will have a conduct of business and affairs of the board. That is Part 1, Section 15. And then the second schedule will have charges for goods and services. That is Part 5, Section 28. So, Speaker, the committee, therefore, has proposed some amendments to the bill. And we will be doing it in this assembly, Mr. Speaker. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I call upon the member for Kitundu, Kidungo, to second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose a question that Makueni County Assembly Agricultural Training Bill 2024, which is the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of the year 2024, be now read for a second time, second reading. Floor is open. Mover of the motion.
Thank you for supporting. I thank the member for supporting the bill in silence.
Honorable members, I now put the question that Makueni County Agricultural Training Bill 2024, the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of the year 2024, be now or proceed to second reading? Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Clerk?
The Makueni County Agricultural Training Center Bill 2024, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Makueni to provide for a legal framework for the establishment and administration of the Makueni Agricultural Training Center to ensure provision of specialized and quality agricultural education, training, and ancillary services, and for connected purposes. Second reading.
Next order.
Order number 11, motion. The Havia the report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development for the period January to June 2024.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion that this Assembly adopts a yearly progress report on Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development for the period between June 2024, laid on the table of the Assembly on 6 August 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, Standing Order 2 or 3 states that unless a more regular interval is prescribed under any written law on the County Assembly standing orders, each select committee shall submit a yearly progress report to the Assembly within 2 months after the end of the 6 months period. The committee held a total of 37 meetings during the period under consideration, where it deliberated on several matters, among them: 1, committee yearly progress report for the period July-December 2023. 2, the Sultan Ahmad Municipal Integrated Development Plan, HIDEP 2023-2027. 3, the Makindu Local Physical Land Use Development Plan for 2023-2033. 4, vetting nominees for appointment for the Water Municipal Board. 5, vetting of nominee for appointment